As an asbestos attorney that focuses on asbestos trust claims, I get asked a lot, what exactly is a claim? Is that like a lawsuit? Well, it's a bit like a lawsuit, but it's different in really important ways. So let's answer the question, what is a claim? Well, the word claim can mean many things. There's also the connotation of a word, the idea or feeling that many people associate with the word claim. For many people, that connotation is like maybe it's not true or it's inauthentic. When you say somebody claimed something, it means you're not vouching for it. Maybe it isn't true. A legal claim is a bit different. A legal claim is a demand that you make after you've been injured because of somebody else's intentional or careless actions and you're owed compensation. Calling it a claim doesn't mean you aren't sure if it's real. It means there's various things you can do about it. One of the basic ones is filing a lawsuit. But filing a lawsuit isn't the only thing to do about a claim, and it isn't the only way to get money. Okay, so a claim is a legal demand you make for an injury caused by someone else, either on purpose or because they weren't being as careful as the law requires. The law calls carelessness negligence. For example, if somebody's speeding in their car and causes an accident, the law would say the driver was being negligent. Somebody injured by that driver would have a legal claim against them. The injured person doesn't have to file a lawsuit. They could just send a letter demanding that the driver pays for their medical bills. But that doesn't always work. In fact, it usually doesn't work, which is why personal injury lawyers exist. When someone won't pay for damages they caused, sometimes you have to file a lawsuit. Filing a lawsuit is one of the main things people do with legal claims, so let's take a look at what one entails. Filing a lawsuit can be expensive. To even file a lawsuit, you'll have to pay a filing fee to the court. You may have to hire expert witnesses who will testify about your injuries or about how they were caused. Expert witnesses typically charge several $100s per hour, and sometimes more than that. Most lawsuits involve one or more depositions, which also cost money, and in addition to the monetary costs, lawsuits can last years. And of course, lawsuits are fraught with risk. You never know how a judge or jury may rule. You could lose the case even if you shouldn't. We can all think of at least one case that we think the judge or jury got wrong. Or you could win far less money than you've already spent on doctor's bills and other expenses. Don't forget, even if you do win, the other side can appeal, and that could be literally years before you receive money. The truth is, sometimes it is definitely worth it and important to file a lawsuit. Sometimes the injuries are significant, or the case is important for society to be aware of, or justice needs to be served. We can handle any asbestos claim, and if you're looking for legal representation, get in touch for a free consultation so that we can discuss your asbestos claim and whether a lawsuit is right for you or not. Many people who are injured by asbestos don't have to file a lawsuit to recover money from the companies that made asbestos products. You can instead choose to file a claim with one or more asbestos bankruptcy trusts. Now, many people hear the word bankruptcy and think that means a company is out of business. Sometimes that's true, but very often it is not true. Bankruptcy is a legal way for companies to restructure their debts and then to continue operating. For example, Johns Manville filed bankruptcy and set up an asbestos trust in 1982, and in 2023 they had sales of around $4 billion. They're definitely not out of business. Basically, when everyone began realizing that their breathing illnesses were from working around or with so much asbestos, the companies who made asbestos got sued. In these lawsuits, a lot of company documents came out showing that the asbestos industry had actually known how dangerous their products were, but they didn't warn anyone. Remember the carelessness we were discussing? Speeding in a car and causing an accident? Well, not warning someone about a danger you created is another kind of carelessness or negligence that the law recognizes. So the asbestos companies who made millions of dollars mining and milling and selling asbestos to everybody, knowing it could cause cancer, realized they were going to lose their lawsuits. So many companies filed for a special kind of bankruptcy that allowed them to set money aside into special trusts that compensate injured people. These trust accounts are watched over by trustees, whose job is to make sure that there's enough money to settle claims filed by people injured by asbestos. Until the early 1980s, asbestos was used in buildings and jobs and products of all kinds, exposing millions of industrial workers at refineries, shipyards, factories, mechanics, and metalworker shops and construction sites all over the country. But unfortunately, industrial workers weren't the only ones exposed. Workers brought home asbestos dust on their clothing, and millions of spouses and children were exposed to asbestos, especially those who washed the work clothes or spent extended time in enclosed spaces with it, like family vehicles or garages. Thankfully, the asbestos trusts can compensate anyone who developed an asbestos-related illness, regardless of whether they worked directly with asbestos or if they were exposed because of the job of a family member. Asbestos trust claims don't come with any of the downsides of asbestos lawsuits. The costs associated with trust claims are minimal compared to a lawsuit, and my office pays for those costs out of our own pocket, with us only being reimbursed if we win, so there's no financial risk to our clients. Although some asbestos trust claims take a long time, most claims are settled in months, not years. A lawsuit almost always requires the injured person to sit through a deposition in which the lawyers for the other side will pry into intimate details about their life. Asbestos trust claims don't require that. What they do require is evidence of when, where, and how a person was exposed to asbestos. Our firm maintains what we believe to be the largest asbestos database on the planet. We have millions of pages of asbestos documents, and we can use them to prove which products you were exposed to on the job. We leave no stone unturned to prove your asbestos claim, and we have recovered hundreds of millions of dollars on behalf of our injured clients who developed diseases like mesothelioma and lung cancer. If you believe you have an asbestos claim, or you have questions about which legal options are right for you, please get in touch with us today. You can reach us at 1-833-4-ASBESTOS, or you can contact us through our website at asbestosclaims.law. However you choose to get in contact with us, we're standing by and are ready to help you stake your claim.